get the shit I done seen. Young boy done turned to a king. Then that boy just got a lot of cream. How that boy living out our dreams. Tryna figure out how to be mixed. He boy with some chicks on a light chick. I heard that boy time for a nice chick. Tryna see this shit clear through the chrome specs. They heard that boy got a water neck. The jet boy tryna find him like Nemo. When they knocking on, look through the peephole.
This is the King Boy channel. Today we are here to discuss pros and cons of owning a 26x14. Now a lot of y'all may wonder, and a lot of people is probably wanting a 26x14 and watching this video, or if not already have a 26x14, you can agree with me on what I'm about to say. These are the 5 pros and cons of owning a 26x14. One of the pros of owning 26x14. Let's start off on the pros first, and then we work our way to the bad news. One of the pros of owning 26x14 is they're the size that everybody wants. Right now, 26x14 is like a must, especially no matter if it's on a 35 or on a 37. 26x14 tends to be the wheel that everybody wants. A lot of people may, you had 24x14, and some people may want 26x16. But right now, we just talking about the 26x14 and 16 wide really have the same issue. But one of the pros is everybody wants them. Everybody wants 26x14, If not, they want 26x16. That's the wheel that everybody wants. Tend to be chrome, whether it's a hardcore wheel, or a tough wheel, or TIS. Or it doesn't really matter the brand it is. 26x14 is a very wheel. So when you get this wheel, you know that everybody wants this wheel. So you're going to get a lot of bragging about this wheel. A lot of people going to come up to you and say, I like your wheels or whatever. It's just going to be what everybody, it's the standard now of the truck game and lifted truck game. Like if you ain't riding on 26x14, then you want to ride on 26x14. Or if not, 26x16 or bigger wheels. But 26x14 is like the standard now. Kind of like how the box Chevy standard is 26s. 26x14 is the standard for a lifted truck game right here. Number 2 is that they're easy to sell. If you got 26x14, especially if it's a chrome wheel or black wheel, but mainly if it's a chrome wheel, you can sell this wheel for anything. People would trade four-wheelers for these wheels. People would trade a cheap car. People would trade a lot of stuff for 26x14. You can 26x14s are like Tacomas. They're easily to move. Like they're easily to sell. It's almost like a 6.0. Like you can do so much with it. It's like a currency, like Bitcoin or something. Like you can do a lot with 26x14 as far as like selling them wise, trading them wise, or whatever the case may be. But 26x14 is like currency. Like you can easily get rid of this wheel if you wanted to, especially if it's a chrome wheel. I say number three pro owning 26x14 is the look of it. I say 26x14 is probably one of the best looking wheels. Like it's just right, especially when the lift is just right on it. It just fits. It just looks good. Like the stance of it, having the wide stance and aggressive stance, just like this right here, having that wide aggressive stance. Like this wheel is really it's wide enough for me to stand on the side of this tire and not even touch the truck. Like the thumbnail you may see in the picture, this is me actually standing on the wheel. That's how far this wheel sticks out. This wheel literally sticks out further than my hand right here. So that is the stance of it, just amazing on the 26x14. Now you can get even more wider with the 16 wide, but turning the 16 wide is pretty difficult. But most people with a show-off FTS, super lift, or basically 7 inches or bigger, they can tend to clear 26x14 with no problem. Number 4 of 26x14 is removing the wheel. This is a pro and a con in a way because of the wheels to 26. It's easy to, like, you can see my wheel lights, they just look real good. You have a lot of space between the wheel lights and the wheel. Also, when you were moving it, if anybody can relate, y'all may notice when you take an impact, no matter if it's a Milwaukee or whatever the case may be, you can fit this whole this impact in here without the battery actually hitting the bottom of the wheel. A lot of time when you go on your 22s, you gotta, if you want to shoot the little nuts off on the bottom, you have to hold the gun upside down or side. Yeah, I probably can relate to what I'm about to say right there. But you can pretty much take an impact and just shoot them on and off, no problem. Your hand, you don't have to worry about it bumping the wheel or lip, whatever. It just goes right on and out. So I say that's number 4. That's just a little small thing that I noticed with owning 26x14 from owning other size wheels. I'm able to do that right there. And last but not least, when it comes to owning a 26x14, is tire options. You could pretty much every brand now has made it standard to make a 26x14 tire, and the tires really sometimes they are 1250, sometimes they 1350. in my opinion, personal opinion, if you're gonna run 26x14, you better run a 1350 or bigger. That way that keeps you from having the rim hangs out on both sides. A lot of time when people run 12.5, it stretches it. And or they run like certain type like gladiators and stuff. They tend to be kind of a little bit on the stretch side, and so the rim itself will actually hang out from the wheel. And you don't really want that when you're spending this type of money on the rim, pretty much. So 26x14 Last Pro is, you could just about it. They make every tire brand from RPP, Amp, Fury. They just got so many sizes that can fit a 26 rim. Like it's just options for it. Just availability option is just there. Like you can do so much with a 26x14. Like if you don't like Amp tires, you can run some Hano tires. If you don't like them Hano tires, which I may be pronouncing that word right. If you comment down below if I'm pronouncing this word, I think it's Hano, Hater tires. You can run RBP tires. You can run Field tires. You can run Gladiator tires. I mean, there's just so many availability. Like me and my brother got Amps. I got Amps. He's got Amps too. Same size rim, same size tire, but just a different type of chrome rim. I got a black rim. Yeah, the availability for a 26x14 is a lot. Like you can run just about any kind of tire on it. Now cons. Here's all the top 5 cons on a 26x14, and everybody can relate to this right here. Number 1, the weight of the tire. The weight of the rim tire is so heavy. Like if you got a 26x14, you're going to be running, like if you have a 37, your tire's going to weigh over 100 pounds. The whole wheel and tire set up itself. If you're running a 35, it may be 90 pounds at the lightest. You might say, what about what's wrong with the weight of the tire? Well, think about it now. You got a 100-pound tire, a rotational force for 4 set of tires. Taking off and stopping is going to definitely be noticeable. When I had 22x12s on 35s, I mean, I can punch it down to the floor. It'll smoke the tires like it ain't nothing. Like nothing. It feels like I had like stock factory tires on there. I put you 26x14 on there though, on 37s, and now you feel it when it's taking off and stopping, especially when it's stopping. Like you notice when you slam on the brake, you may have to get off in the brake a little bit more than you normally would. Almost like you have a trailer behind it in the back. Like the weight of the wheels and tire setup is noticeable, like majorly noticeable. Also you get bump steer. I don't have bump steer on mine, luckily, but I've heard on some trucks or some, depending on how you got your suspension set up, you can have bump steer in there. So when you hit like potholes and stuff, the weight of the tire can shift and actually jerk the steering wheel towards that direction right there. I think that's more common often in straight axle vehicles, but it can be in an independent suspension if the front end is not properly set up right, or depending on if you got spacers or not on the wheel. Number 2, wheel hubs, wheel bearings. If you got a 26x14, and you pretty much better buy all brand new wheel hubs and wheel bearings before you put that wheel on there. 26x14 wheels are very, like I said, it's very heavy, and the wheel is actually sticking out from the fender, so it's putting a lot of stress on your wheel bearings. So factory wheel bearings are really, I mean, if you're gonna go back with factory wheel bearings, you better change them as soon as you put your wheels on. Like, and you better keep checking them. Like every time you rotate your tire, check your wheel bearings, especially if you have spacers on it. Because if you have spacers on it, you're putting a lot of stress, on your wheel bearings. And everybody can relate to this right here. I've seen people put 3-inch spacers on their truck and literally had to change wheel bearing like they change oil. So you definitely, if you running wheel spacers on 26x14, you definitely need to be checking wheel bearings, because wheel bearings are like, that's a lot of stress on your wheels. Luckily for me, I only had to change one set. I only went to one set of wheel bearings. I don't have any spacers on mine. Also, I don't drive my truck that often. So my truck really just sits in one spot. I only drive it maybe once, twice a week. So I rarely ever drive my truck. So that's one advantage of me having on wheel bearings. But if you daily driving 26x14s, then definitely every time you change or rotate your tires, you need to check wheel hubs, because it puts a lot of stress on your wheel bearings. Number three con on a 26x14 is getting the front end alignment. Most alignment shops do not do alignment on 26 rims. I ain't gonna say all of them do, but a lot of at least I noticed from taking alignment from where I'm from, a lot of alignment shops want to go to 24. The clamps that actually clamps onto the rim or on the tire itself tends to only go to 24. So you'll probably have to put your stock wheels on to get your alignment, then put your 26x14s on, because the rim itself is just too big. a lot of alignment shops around here just won't really align at 26. And if they do align at 26, they charge you a lot of money. Most alignment shops will not align it. So you have to put your stock wheels on. Those that had 26x14 know exactly what I'm talking about when they get a truck alignment. They probably had to put their factory or put reps or put just their stock wheel back on there to get alignment because the rim itself is too large to be aligned. Also, when they do get alignment, if some shops can align a 26x14 while the rear on there, they probably charge you a lot more money because of the size of the rim itself. So number four, and I learned from this recently because I had a flat actually on one of my 26x14. I had a nail in the tire. It's getting a flat repair fixed. Getting the tire fixed. There was only maybe 2 shops in my local area that can actually remove a 26x14 tire off the rim. Like, they actually do them tires. I took to one shop actually that actually does rims, and they do up to 30-inch rims and stuff on box 7s and stuff. The guy literally walks outside, looked at my tire, said, "Oh, I can't do that. It's too big, too wide." They won't do it. They refuse to do it. So, getting a tire fixed, if you have a nail or something, you got 26x14, you know my struggle here. It's quite difficult. Like, a lot of shops are gonna charge you a lot of money too because I ended up finding a shop to do it. They were a little bit on the pricey side, but they did very, very high, good quality work though. So you're gonna spend a lot more money than you would spend if you had like a Corolla or stock, like, you know, a Nissan Maximum tire trying to get fixed or something. You're gonna spend quite a bit more money. Even if you have a stock tire, you're gonna spend a lot more money than a stock rim tire than you would with a 26x14 getting it fixed. When you're getting a tire fixed for a 26x14, like, yeah, it's gonna be quite expensive, you know. So owning a 26x14, number four con of owning a 26x14 is definitely, you know, you gotta be aware of this right here. Any shops around here can fix your tire if you have a leak or something, because like I said, it's very expensive to fix a 26x14 tire. A lot of shops won't do it. You got to have a lot of trust in shops because you can easily scratch the rim. You know, that's one of the major cons. Actually, probably the biggest con on this list right here is if it's something happening to your tire, think about how much it's going to cost to get it fixed. Think of how hard it's going to get, what shop you're going to have to take it to. Do you have a shop around your area that can fix a rim this big? You got to be aware of that right there. Can you trust somebody, you know, removing a tire off your $600 rim? Or if not more than that, that's just a base price really for a 26 rim is about around $600. So yeah. That is one of the major cons of owning 26x14. Last but not least con of owning a 26x14. And that's how wide the rim is. Yep, specifically the passenger side. I think that the rim that's more dangerous than anything of getting curb rash is probably the passenger front. Making sharp turns like in a drive-through something. You know, you can't really see this wheel, so you got to be very, very aware of how wide your truck is with these rims on there. And be aware of what you can actually fit, because the passenger side is probably going to be the most dangerous side of getting curb rash. This wheel, like I said earlier in the video, my whole hand, I'm going to say this is probably 6 inches right here. You know, if you look real hard, you can tell from the middle tire tread, it's still sticking out further than the fender of the truck itself. Curb rash in the wheel is a real thing. And let me tell you something. If you curb rash a 26x14, you pretty much, depending on how bad it is, it's like you knocking thousands of dollars off this wheel. You curb rash one of these wheels, especially if it's a black wheel, this wheel is pretty much not worth anything. Like, you went from selling a setup, if you was going to sell these setups, you might sell it for $5,400, $5,500. Now you looking at $32,000, $31,000, $3,000 if you curb rash a ring. You curb rash 2 wheels, you actually probably below $3,000 now at that point, unless you got a chrome wheel. Now for these rims right here, chrome wheels, that's exceptional, because chrome, when you curb rash a chrome wheel, it's not really that noticeable, because the way the chrome plating process is, it kind of blends in. It's not as noticeable. Like, if I curb rash this wheel, I mean, you can literally stand 100 yards and probably be able to see that. But on a chrome wheel, you really have to get up on it. So you know, chrome wheel kind of hold its value more than black wheels is. But curb rashing is a major thing owning a 26x14. Like, if you got 26x14, you curb rash one of these wheels, it's over with. And another thing about it is how wide this wheel is. You got to be careful how you turn, especially if you turning right on the street and there's a curve. You got to be very aware of where you at all times. I tend to look at my rearview mirrors or something like that. If I'm going to like a real sharp turn, don't worry about catching that back wheel or whatever. That's a major concern. A lot of people, You know, I got Carrera on one of my wheels, actually. But I got very, very lucky. And I think it's the driver's side, actually. You can't see it in the picture right here, but it's a slight curve, and I got extremely lucky. I ran on a curve, but look, and that's another thing. This is the reason why I say run 1350 tire and not run 1250 tire and stretch it on a 14 rim. You see how flush that is? It's not straight up and down, but that tire was just wide enough to catch the to protect the rim. I ran over a curve one time backing up, and I can't actually see it on the video. You can't pick it up, but that's a curve rash. Yeah, right here. It actually caught the inside right here. You can't notice because it's so thin, but if I watch this wheel, you may notice if you get right up on it. I'll put some nail polish and stuff on it, kind of blend it so you can't really tell. But it caught the edge of this rim right here. And if I'd had a 1250 rim, it probably would have busted the end of that rim or just severely curve rashed it. So having 14 wide wheels, I mean, curve rashing the wheels is almost like it's almost like a thing. If it's not if you're gonna do it, it's when you're gonna do it. Because you're going to have somebody pull out in front of you or do something or whatever. And like you're saying, especially if you have a 35, because I got 37, so 37 gives me a little bit more meat on the tire. So I recommend you having 37s if you can clear it. Plus, it just make the wheel look more aggressive. But if you have a 35, y'all know, and if y'all watching this video, y'all know y'all got this much tire. It's almost like a rubber band tire. So curve rashing the rim it's very likely. I mean, it's like I said, it's not if you're going to do it, it's more like when you're going to do it. And that is one of the major cons of owning 26x14 is, yeah, it looks good because it's wide, but you also got to be very, very careful how you drive it. You know, think about it when you let your soulmate or some drive it, you let your kids drive it or whatever the case may be. Think about that when you let people drive it because, 26x14s are easy to curve and they're very expensive. So that is one of my major cons owning 26x14. My top five pros, top 5 cons. And y'all comment down below. Do y'all like this type of content? I'm just spitting the truth, spitting some games, some stuff that really not talked about in the truck community. A lot of people just don't know. They really just don't know about 26x14s, like the cons and the pros of having it. Like everybody wants to, that's kind of set like the standard in the lifted truck game. But like I said, you gotta think about when you buy these wheels and buy these tires. Can I get alignment? Do I have another set of wheels to change to get alignment? Can I get a tire fixed? Is there a shop near me that can fix it? If I had to have a run over a piece of glass or run over a nail or some case or something like that, can I get the tire fixed? You gotta think about all these things when you're owning 26x14. This is a very big rim and it's very expensive. So that's just some of the cons of owning this wheel, and it's just some of the pros of owning this wheel. But I want y'all to go comment down below and like, share, subscribe. Do y'all like content like this? If y'all do, I'll keep posting content like this. Game is game, really. And I'm just trying to spit some truth out here. But this is the King Boy channel. Y'all like, share, subscribe, and we be out.
I can make a check in my sleep. I stay in my lane like a street. Only want